I told you, we mean by border struggle an armed struggle. The international law gives us as under occupation the right to resist in any mean. But which mean we choose, it's our decision. We have the right, but what is suitable mean is our decision to use. In our historical period of time, when we decide to build the Nabi Saleh model, yeah, we are a group from First Intifada middle leader. Yeah, we start talking about the strategy and what's the best question answer for the Palestinian issue question. That after this happened, it's not we are a group not from Nabi Saleh, also from other places in Palestine, and we start discuss what is the suitable answer for our question and what's the suitable mean for our issue. And after we evaluate the second intifada and our experience from the first intifada, and we also read our history, we see that in 2 periods of time we become near to succeed in our historical revolution, 1936, 1987. The 2 periods of time we use the popular struggle. This means it's succeeded, and it can succeed. Also, we see that the villages that use this mean to protect their land because of the wall, they partially succeed to protect part of their land. This means it's useful for our issue. Also, we read the model in the international model, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and Mandela, and other kind of model that succeed all around the world. This means it may be suitable for our issue. For that, we decide to build the strategy and to make other alternative for our society to choose, because we believe that after the second intifada and after December 11 and after the war against the terrorists all over the world, and Israel and take part of our act and our mistake of the suicide bombing to make a cause and make a link between our legal resistance and the terrorists around the world, which harm the image of the Palestinian in the international community mentality. For that, we start to discuss what is the suitable mean. We decide to choose this mean. It's the popular thing. We don't want to name it non-violent or peace or what. We want it part from our culture to be more acceptable. Also, when we start discussing, and we see that we must build other alternative for our society to be chosen when the negotiation fail, because we believe that this path will not lead to our right, and we don't want our society to go back to the armed resistance, not because our enemy not deserve or we haven't the right, but it's not suitable for our issue, and it will harm our issue. For that, we don't want to go in the way of that used by the academic people, workshop, conference, and just to talk. Dialogue, just talking. We know a lot of organization or NGOs that are talking non-violent, peace, and these concepts. And we don't want to choose this method. We want to build on the ground the model that talk about our concept. And I told you, because of the reason that I told you about Nabi Saleh, we choose Nabi Saleh. Because it's easy to convince the people to start. And it's easy to build the picture or the view of the first intifada. Our vision is the first intifada.
So why 2009? Why not 2008, 7, 6, 5?
What I will tell you. In that moment, 2004, 5, 6, 7, it was the armed resistance, and it's increasing, and it's the back picture of all the Palestinian activity. You can't start a model, and be acceptable or right or make the the concept more common in the Palestinian society in that moment, in that period of time. Also, most of us was in jail. Yeah. Also, we are coming from the Palestinian party, and we believe in the armed resistance. Yeah. We start changing our belief after we see what happened after the second intifada. That the armed resistance make some problem or make a problem for our issue.
As you said, for many reasons, not ethical reasons, but all these factors about Israel's use of terror and 9/11 and all these things.
All these things. We start changing our concept, our belief and our strategy and our mentality. In the past, we are believing in the armed resistance. We can't go opposite of our belief. When we change, we start to build this one. Also, the condition is not suitable in a period of time that you talk about something not acceptable in that period of time.
But Bilayin made these choices 2005.
Bodros before and Jayus before,
Jayus,
but it's specific, and this part of our part of something that we want that we want to evaluate the models that Bilayin, Bodros, and we see what's some the problem that they face in the strategy, not in the action itself. We see that when they talk about the specific goal, maybe it will harm the strategy, because the problem is not the direction of the wall, because the wall is in our land, and the change of the direction is stay in our land, and the wall itself is the problem. Also, the wall itself is part of the component of the big problem, it's the occupation. For that, we don't want to make the tactic over the strategy. We target the wall as a face or a shape of the occupation or part of the component of the strategy. If we talk about, we believe that maybe it will harm the mentality or the thought of our generation if we target just the specific goal. Because if maybe Bilayin youth or the generation who start talking about the wall and the hundred of dunums in Bilayin or in Bodros or in Nabi Saleh talking about the spring, it will harm the strategy. That they feel that when they protect 1,000 dunum or 200 dunum or a specific goal succeed, they feel that we do our duty and our responsibility, and this is for the strategies will harm the strategy. And we don't want to put our agenda to be like peace, non-violent, or to come because sometimes we see that the audience of the slogan of the resistance is for the international or the Israeli. It's very important, but it's not. The more important is our audience, is the Palestinian society. This is this one. Sometimes if we want to convince our society, we must talk from our culture. And I told you our vision is the first intifada. The symbol of the first intifada is the stone. Yeah. If we talk about non-violent, it's mean that if a child hold a stone, it will be unacceptable. We want to build our model from our culture. Israel also for me is the guard of the interest of the capitalism. For that, what we face in Canada is part of the same problem. That the capitalism or the economic system who control. If there is a globalization for the interest of the capitalism and the goods and the money and everything and the resources to control everything by the globalization. Also, the human right believer and the freedom fighter must make a globalization for their belief and their moral issue and their thought, and because of that we said that you see that South Africa's solution comes from the pressure of outside pressure. This means, for me, the third intifada must be global. And we choose the popular struggle as a strategy to give an opportunity for everyone in the world to do his duty and his responsibility. For us, as a Palestinian, we become a victim of the victim after the international community wake up after the Holocaust criminal against the humanity and solve the problem from our account and on our land. They bring the Jewish refugees and put them in our land, and we become the victim of the victim. For that, you have your duty and your responsibility for us. You can't be free if I lose my freedom. And I lose my freedom on my land because of your policy and your government policy. For that, when you told me that your Prime Minister or
Prime Minister.
sing for Netanyahu, it's mean we share the same enemy. Yeah, we have the same enemy. It's the interest of the capitalism. Who harm the environment and who harm the human being.